Hello, salutations. What to do with Sadot the Gamer, all founder, do gang, no vibes, like, subscribe. Let's get it. Happy Thursday, Unalive Nation and Durag Nation. We're back with another Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League stream. It's a surprise / emergency stream because we got some breaking news. I'll pull that up right now, actually. I saw Jay Shockblast was having a little impromptu panel preview of the after show. But Rocksteady's been cooking today. We got some stuff to go over for sure. But what's up, chat? We got D Savage, Bravo, Simple, Jay, what it do? Lucky Raygun, what's up? Shout out to all my members, all my mods. What's up, Kaneki, Jarrett? What's up, Kevin? What's up, Simon, Brett, BXR? Haters now have their red noses and makeup on. Bro, the clown makeup is indeed coming on right now. What's up, Champagne? Can't believe IGN dropped more footage. Yo, shout out to everyone who, if you haven't already, check out my IGN video where I showcased my reaction to their hilarious Suicide Squad review. Very funny. IGN is going to IGN. What's up, Taladia? Appreciate you. What's up, Vengeance? Yours surely. How you feeling? So, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League just dropped this. Said back in November, we held a closed alpha test for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League where players agreed to a non-disclosure agreement and got a chance to check out an early section of the game. Now that more news out on the game and players are asking, we're no longer enforcing a portion of the NDA and we're allowing players to talk about their experience from the closed alpha test. We've heard the community requests and want to give players an opportunity to discuss what it's like to explore Metropolis as Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark. To the amazing players who tested the game, please feel free to talk and write about your gameplay experience. Keep in mind that all other terms of the NDA still apply and players may not post imagery or videos from the closed alpha test. So as long as you don't show any of the images or the videos, you're good to go. You are free to talk about the closed alpha test as much as you like, which is a dub. Shout out to Miller. He was one of the main people trying to tell everybody that would listen, hey, y'all got to turn this around. Matter of fact, let me actually pull up Miller's tweets because WB should definitely thank him. He really, he's been really pushing to support the game. You'll probably see some leaks here, so keep that in mind. Miller has been leaking. Oh, good, they DMCA'd it, so it's not there. Lifted the NDA, there you go. Miller celebrating. This was such a dub. Like even former devs were saying, lift the NDA. Let's see. Here we go. Miller went in. Miller, shout out to Miller. He's been a big supporter of Suicide Squad. He's been data mining. He's the reason why people know that most people now know that the story leaks were fake. That's Miller. He's the one that exposed that because he saw that people were unfairly attacking the game because of story leaks. So shout out to Miller. for holding it down. What's up, Michael? But he's been telling them, yo, people want to talk about the game, and it was actually crazy because you got this, you have this big preview event where you have, you know, content creators, journalists fly out. You fly out your IGNs and everything, and all they do was just shit all over the game. like what do we? It was just a waste of everyone's time. And look at all the people now that are happily giving their impressions about the game. Like you were letting people who wanted the game to fail to control the narrative. Like after the preview event, you had the content creators were giving it fair reviews, but you had people running with it with the IGN. We're actually having people defend IGN, and they were just running with this narrative that, oh, this is terrible and everything like that. And you had all the people who didn't play the game and who never intended to play the game saying, oh yeah, it's terrible. And all the people who wanted to correct all the misinformation and stuff and talk about their experience, they weren't allowed to say anything because of the NDA. And now that it's lifted, we're seeing a bunch of people talk about their experience, and it's mostly positive because that's what it was. It was a fun game. It was a good alpha. What's up, Andres? Shout out to Ecuador. What's up, Leaky? What's up, Byron? What did you do, Capte? What did IGN sent a reviewer over there? They didn't give a full rating because it's the preview event, and they didn't get to play the full game. But he basically took a dump all over the game, and he was being extremely dishonest. Like a lot of stuff he was complaining about was literally a skill issue. Like I put it out in my video earlier today. Like at one point, the reviewer was complaining about the Flash boss fight because he said the Flash was moving too fast for him. Like he was having a hard time catching up with him. Like, bro. I know IGN doesn't know how to game is a meme, but holy did they live up to it. Dave, hurry up, streaming. Appreciate it. That goes bad. I'm still on episode 5. I haven't. That's the last episode. I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, it's not good. It's not very good at all. I'm not enjoying that, but I am enjoying all the people who are enjoying Suicide Squad. I'm gonna talk about my experience in a minute, but we also got some other news from Rocksteady for all you PC enjoyers. Boom. Rocksteady just dropped the official PC specs for all you part of the PC master race. There you go. They just dropped this after lifting the NDA. These are the recommendations if you're playing Suicide Squad or planning to play it on PC. So enjoy that. What's up, IDK bro? You're a console nerd, so Series X for you. Need a new controller. How mature is Echo? Not very. That's another thing. The mature thing is Cap. It's not a mature show. Like that whole all that marketing about how it's going to be this TVMA, dark, gritty, violent. It's Cap. it's no more violent than Hawkeye or Secret Invasion was. Like, there's one, literally, I think it's the first episode they showed in the trailers. Someone gets shot in the head. That's literally it. That's literally it. There's barely any blood. There's not that much violence. Like, it's not that big a deal. It's literally like, it's as violent as Secret Invasion was. Like, that mature rating, it was all cap. It was all cap. Shot de la June in the building, looking real quiet. You know it's gonna be quiet, bro. As soon as something drops, when they can't hate, they go quiet. They had all this stuff to say when the fake story leaks were out there, and then when Miller proved the story leaks were fake, all of a sudden they had nothing to say. Then when IGN says they didn't like the game, even though that was like one of the worst reviews they've ever done, and that's saying something considering it's IGN, they just ran with this narrative, and then close alpha, NDA gets lifted, and now you get to see just how many people did get to play the game who actually enjoyed it. Now it's like, oh, let's fall back for now. It's the same stuff. So for me, my problem with Echo is that, first of all, it was a completely unnecessary show. I thought that from the beginning, and so far, they have not proven why this show needed to exist. It doesn't contribute much to the greater MCU so far. It's not particularly interesting. It's not like the worst thing ever that they've done. I mean, like that Daredevil fight scene is pretty terribly done. But other than that, and the show is just like, it's like, it's like pointless. There are no real stakes. It's not that interesting. You don't understand why we care about Echo's journey or what it's supposed to be leading to. Like, the editing is pretty awful. The pacing is bad, but it's just like, I still have to finish the last episode, but it's like, what was this for? Okay, she was raised by Kingpin. She shot Kingpin when she found out he had her father killed. They literally recapped Hawkeye in the first episode poorly, just stitching together different scenes, and then the rest of the thing is just like, okay, she wants to be a queen pin, and then Kingpin pops up again. It's like it's just it's a largely pointless show. They're setting up the street level characters. They don't need that one. That's one street level they don't need. I would rather set up Kiori from What If in live action. I would rather watch that in live action. or how about a Blue Marvel show? How about we get Blue Marvel in here? Get Denzel Washington on the phone, pay that man his money, and let's stop playing games and get Blue Marvel into the MCU. How about that? There's nothing so far. There's nothing about Echo or anything in this show that makes me want to see it ever again in any other show or movie. You suspect Hiyori is headed for the MCU? I'm sure she is, and obviously Captain Carter is a full thing now. I would rather watch another. Give me another season of Agent Carter. How about that? Now that Captain Carter is in the MCU, give me an Agent Carter show. give me Agent Carter new season on Disney Plus. How about in an alternate timeline or something? Like, how about that? I don't want to see Echo. I don't care about Echo at all. Yep, everyone can talk about Suicide Squad right now, finally. Give you an Agent Carter OnlyFans, of course you would want that, bigot. Now Haley Atwell is stacked, so she would probably do very well on OF. What if season 2 is low-key fire? Definitely emphasis on low-key. I thought overall it was worse than season 1. It had a few really good episodes, and it didn't have any terrible episodes really, but I thought overall season 2 was worse. Especially I thought the last 2 episodes were pretty mid. It just didn't come together like season 1 did. Season 1 had a couple duds in terms of episodes, but they had some like amazing episodes, and then the way they brought the story together and tied it all up, leading to that confrontation between Ultron and the Watcher, that whole arc, they played that out so well. It was so good. Season 2 was just like, eh. The after show tomorrow is going to be fire. Everybody make sure you subscribe. Hell yeah. Definitely subscribe to the after show podcast. We are almost at 1,000 subs. And now everyone's free to talk. Not just Jay Shockblast, who was flown out on his private jet to play Suicide Squad. The NDA is lifted for everybody. So if you played the closed alpha and you were really looking forward to talking about it, now's your chance. Especially if you're a content creator. That seemed to be the big thing. Because if you're just on an anonymous, a Twitter account or whatever, it's not that big a deal. If you, if you just, talk about your experience. But I know a lot of people were holding back just in case, because they didn't want their account to get nuked or anything. they were afraid. So W to Warner Brothers and Miller once again for giving them the kick they needed. But definitely shout out to them for actually listening, because as we saw from the Marvel's Avengers experience, just because you give them feedback that will help their game doesn't mean they're going to listen. Some studios are allergic to feedback. But shout out to Rocksteady. So far, they've listened to the fans. Like, fans said, hey, we don't like the always online thing. We want to have an offline mode so that we can at least experience the story and not have to worry about the game shutting down and not having access. They said, say less, you get your offline mode. People were saying, man, it really sucks that we're under NDA. We can't talk about our closed alpha experience. There's a lot of misinformation being spread about the game, and we just want to give our thoughts and share our experience, especially after the creators got to talk about their hands-on preview. And it was like, yep, you know what? There you go. You got it. Because it makes so much more sense to let the people who played the closed alpha, because even though the creators in the media got to fly out and play the game, and hang out with the devs, they only got to play for 5 hours. It was only like a 5-hour session. And I heard there was a lot of technical difficulties trying to set up everything. Whereas the people who played the closed alpha, the only thing they didn't get to see or experience was the Flash boss fight. But they got to play the game as much as they wanted for 3 days. So if you want to hear anybody's feedback, it would be those people, people like us who put, 10, 20 hours or more into the game. We have like a decent amount of experience and insight, but us not being able to talk about it was kind of silly. and now that we can, you're seeing the conversation online around Suicide Squad is actually a lot more positive than you were led to believe. You have clips of the boss man fight. So the alpha NDA is partially lifted. Partially. You can talk about your experience. You cannot show people any of the footage. If you recorded any of your time playing the alpha, you can't share that, but you can talk about it. What's up, Luis? IGN clowns. Oh, for sure. Arkham Video, the #1 Arkham channel, said he liked the alpha. He's a big Arkham fanboy. Like, come on, if he liked the game, a lot of others will as well. For sure. That's why I thought it was such an important thing, because you had these bad faith channels that were running with this narrative that everybody hated the game, when I know for a fact it's not true, because I was playing the closed alpha. I saw the people who were playing the closed alpha. I was talking with a lot of them, and almost all of them are saying they were loving the game now that they actually got to experience it for themselves. And a lot of them were hardcore Arkham fans. So I knew people were going to like enjoy it more than they thought. And that was like a common thing that I was hearing. Oh man, I was going in with low expectations, and now I really like the game. That was pretty much it. Like for me, I wasn't one of the people that was like against the game. Like when they announced it, I wasn't mad or anything. Like I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. All right, let me give it a shot. And then when I found out it was a live service, I was like, okay, obviously you want to be cautious because there's a lot of ways a live service can go wrong. But I'm not opposed to a live service game depending on how it's done. I like looter shooters. I played a lot of them. I played Avengers, but I played Destiny. I played The Division. I'm all about Borderlands, all that stuff. So if it's good, I'll like it. But because I have experience with different games in the genre, I was going to be more critical because I know what to look for. So while I was playing the alpha, I was checking to see, okay, is it falling into those same mistakes that Avengers or others did? And to my surprise, they did a lot of stuff great, way better than Avengers did. Like Rocksteady seems like they actually understood, we're going to make a looter shooter and we're going to actually make it good. We're actually going to do our homework and make it as good as possible. So I really appreciated the different touches they had, like not having to worry about like leveling up, like just throwing arbitrary numbers on everything just to pad the grind time. I thought was a great idea. Instead of just grinding for levels, you're just literally just trying to unlock talent points for your skill tree. And the big thing, and I'm not sure if the person who was here who asked me this, but someone asked me about the talent points the other day, and they said, I see they have a skill tree with all your skill points. Can you respec? And if people who've been following me know, I have a really big problem with video games that have skill trees that don't let you respec. It pisses me off so much when games do this, especially if it's a game that has like a looter component where the idea is that you're trying to put together different builds or test different play styles and stuff like that. I hate when they just like, nope, whatever skill you picked, you're locked into it. There's nothing you can do. And I'm like, that's so unnecessary and so anti-player. It's annoying because there's literally it serves no low function. It doesn't make the game harder. It's not a skill thing. It's just dumb. Like, and makes people want to play less. So some games like Jedi Survivor will let you respec, but they'll put a cost to it. Like with Jedi Survivor, it costs you a skill point in order to respec. So you had to basically grind so you could have enough skill points to not only just unlock moves, but if to respec, which I thought was dumb. Just if you're just going to have respec in the game anyway, just put it in. Thankfully, Suicide Squad were just like, we're not doing any of this nonsense. We respect your time. You want to respec however, whenever you want. There's no restrictions whatsoever. If you pick a talent tree and you're like, hey, I want to try this one. Okay, I don't like this skill. Well, you can just change it. They're not going to make you pay any money, no resources. It's not going to cost you another talent point just to respec. They're just like, nope, we're just going to let you respec whenever you want. And not only do they let you respec whenever you want on the talent tree, they actually give you recommendations on skill points that where you should put your skill points based on play styles. Like if you highlight a skill, it will actually give you a list of different play styles that complement that skill, so that you're not just guessing when you're trying to pick a skill. You're actually going into it with an understanding of why you might want to use it, which I thought was a great touch. And it's just little things like that I really appreciated. And the game itself was a lot of fun. Like they start you off with a tutorial level, which is like 30 minutes or so, and they let you run through it with each character with the focus on traversal, because it is a bit of a learning curve. Like if you're just used to Spider-Man or Arkham, traversal is not really a thing. It's just like, oh, just in Batman it's just jump, glide, grapple. Spider-Man, it's just swing, especially the first couple games doesn't really, you can get really cool with the combos and stuff, but just moving around doesn't really take a lot. But the traversal in Suicide Squad does, but once you do, it's awesome. Like I mainly was on Captain Boomerang. I tried out everybody. Harley was my least favorite character, but I thought once you got the hang of it, all their traversal was really good. Harley's especially was fun when I was using it for crowd control to like drop in and drop out, attack enemies. Harley is really good at that with the way her traversal with the bat drone is set up is actually really good for that. But Boomerang was by far my favorite. He's a speedster and he's basically teleporting all around the map. and it's so much fun. I absolutely love playing with Captain Boomerang. Like I'm all about that run and gun fighting style. He's got a combination of power, like he does really good single target damage, especially with a shotgun. He's great at crowd control. He's got that perk, the Great Suspender, that freezes enemies. He is really hard to hit because you can just throw, you got your super speed, and you can just throw your boomerang and just teleport all over the place to avoid getting hit. And then and then his Suicide Squad attack is when he just like after images and just darts around hitting you from every different angle. It's crazy. Boomerang is a beast in this game. Guys saying the game is going to be dead, even though it's the top pre-order game. Haters are going to hate. Like, bro, they're literally. I just today, I had a comment from someone saying that Spider-Man 2 is dead, and why am I defending it even though I literally wasn't defending it? I just made a news video about it. Why are you defending it? Everyone agrees it's bad. Bro, Spider-Man 2 has been nominated for Game of the Year in every gaming category, in every game award show this year. DICE just announced their award nominations. Spider-Man 2 has 9 nominations. It sold them. It was the fastest selling PlayStation game in history. It made over 5 million. It's moved over 5 million units in 10 days. It's sitting at a 90 on Metacritic. It's got a 90 plus user score, which means the critics and the players both agreed that it was a good game. Yet you have these weirdos who will insist that there's somehow this majority of people who agree that it's bad, the game's dead, nobody's talking about it. It's pure delusion. That is what it is. Every time I drop a Spider-Man video, tens of thousands of people immediately come watch it because they're waiting for more updates. Yet these haters will have you believe it's a dead game, even though it's a single player game. Still, people are coming back waiting for more. They're waiting for the new game plus update. They're waiting for new DLC. Like, you gotta understand the psychology of these people. They live in a bubble. They're obviously losers. They have nothing really going on in their life, and they hang around in subreddits and on Discords talking with other haters about how much this game sucks, and yeah, high five. They probably follow certain grifter content creators who make their living just being negative, just for the sake of being negative, and they think everyone thinks like them. And then when they see actually nobody thinks like them, they get triggered and try to convince you, no, actually you're the ones who are wrong. Like, no, you just accept it. People just don't agree with you. Spider-Man 2 has problems, but overall, most people enjoyed the game. Cope, seethe, cry about it, don't care, touch grass. Will Suicide Squad be crossplay? Yes, full crossplay, full cross progression. Not only is it crossplay, shout out to Lejeune, but he revealed this feature. Actually, let me pull it up. Which I thought was, I've not, let me know if chat if you heard about anyone ever doing this feature before. I've never heard about it in a game, especially a game like this. When you're playing Suicide Squad, if you have a friend who also plays and has a game, if they're offline, you can pull them in. You can pull in their character while they're offline, run your missions like you normally would, and when you both earn gear, their character will earn that gear with you. So then when they log into the game, all the gear and stuff that you picked up during your session with their character, they get to keep it. So you can legitimately have people grinding the game for you. Here it is, found it. Shout out to Lejeune. He was the first one I saw mention it. I've never heard this feature before. He outlined some new features, and that was one of them. Flying cars. He actually made a video about that. We know that they have the vehicles now. But yeah, pulling a friend's character if they're offline and getting gear for them, that's crazy. And he went into the different themes of gears. The tier above legendary is notorious, and they're villain themed, and so they'll have perks based on the villain they're named after. So we saw some of them. We saw the Black Mask perk. There's one for Bizarro. There's a Two-Face one. So that's really interesting. And I forgot who pointed it out, but it appears there's also a tier above Notorious that you have to unlock. They pay you a service of nothing an hour to take your King Shark. Yeah, vicious. So I know Capte is going to be on this game like he was on Avengers. He's going to be grinding. So if I'm not online, I'm gonna need y'all while I'm working on something. If I don't have time to be on the game, I need y'all to pull my Captain Boomerang in and start running missions. Start grinding for me, or that it's actually good for a character, a secondary character. Like I'm going to be maining Boomerang, but if you have a character that you haven't really put that much time into yet, like for me, that's going to be Harley. I already know that, but I'm gonna be like, all right, I need you to pull in my Harley so I can get some stuff. So I get some stuff for her. I haven't played Ark, but I have not heard of many games with that feature. Curious about the offline mode. If they were to take away the servers, not anytime soon, but would you still be able to play? That's the point of the offline mode. That's why people were complaining that it was always online. If a game is always online, that means when the servers are turned off, you can't play the game anymore. But if a game has offline capability, that means you don't need an internet connection in order to play the game. So the servers are irrelevant. We saw that, of course, at Marvel's Avengers, because Marvel's Avengers wasn't online only. Even if you personally were disconnected to the internet, you could still play the game. And in fact, Avengers players know that was actually an exploit in order to, get certain gear, or, they would manipulate the vendors and stuff like that to get specific pieces. And that required them to intentionally turn their internet off and go into the game in order to mess with the date and time. But because it's not always online, they were able to do that. So Suicide Squad, once they add that update, you'll always be able to play the game. What's up, Certified? I think by far, I'm probably not alone in this. I think the best mission we played in the closed alpha was definitely the Arkham Museum. Like, as soon as I realized that mission was the Batman mission that they teased in the trailer, I immediately got excited. But I did not expect it to be that good. That legitimately is one of the best missions I've ever played in any video game. Not just a superhero game. And it's a mission that is not only amazing solo, it's even better when you're playing with your friends. I did it both. I did a run of it solo, and then I squatted up with I think I had King in the strike team, and a couple of people from the Discord, and we were running through the mission. And Batman was just picking us off one by one. It was so crazy. I can't wait to stream that. So as soon as I get my hands on the game, I'm gonna definitely squad up and make a video just showing people that, just so people can see that. You were scared of it. It was legitimately scary. Like it was like actual heart. Like I was actually looking around like, what the hell? Oh, this is what it's like. You actually felt what it's like on the other end of it. Like usually you're the one, when you're Batman, you're the one stalking enemies, but actually being on the receiving end, it just made you realize, oh man, Batman, it really is him. he was setting traps. You could not see where he was. It was wild. And before you knew it, it was over. We're just talking about you, King. Ready to kick Batman's ass, screw playing his back, bro. I was like after he picked off a couple of my teammates, I was like, all right, Batman, let's run the fade right now. So I'm really looking forward to that boss fight, because I got it. We need our get back. Batman really did us dirty in that museum. So I'm looking forward to the boss fight later in the game. He definitely owes me a fade. I'm not going out like that. He absolutely demolished us. But even just separate from the like actual Batman component, yeah, that museum had like a lot of really great Easter eggs, just all over the place. You know, because it was a museum, it basically had summaries of different iconic moments of the Arkham series. We're just talking about the now that the closed alpha NDA is lifted, we could talk about it. But there was this really funny part in the Arkham Museum where they have like these big cardboard cutouts, these life-size cardboard cutouts of different characters from the Arkham series when you're walking through the museum. And there's one of Harley Quinn in her Arkham outfit, you know, when she's got the short skirt and the calcium cannons out. And if you go up to it with each character, there's unique dialogue, and it's really funny. It's really funny. Captain Boomerang is trolling her, and Deadshot is like ashamed because he was like, my daughter. he's like, I would never let my daughter walk out the house like that. I was crying, bro. I was so funny. I was pleasantly surprised by how good the writing was. I know there are a bunch of people complaining, you know, about it being woke or whatever, but you know, so far for the most part, from what I experienced, for the most part, it was good. Like the only part you could even argue, I know people are mad that, you know, Ivy isn't an adult, but for the most part, I thought it was fine. There was only one other part in the closed alpha. It's like when Task Force X had to get their costumes, because you know they started out basically as prisoners, and the default costumes that we see in all the marketing, those were actually given to them. They got put in their lockers. The Harley outfit that she was given in her locker was like similar to her Arkham outfit. You know, it's the skirt, the corset with the cleavage showing, and she, instead of putting it on, she threw it away and made her own outfit, and that's how we got Harley's basic outfit from the trailers, the pants, the cutoff shirt, the jacket. So I rolled my eyes on that one, but I was like, if they're definitely going to make that a skin because they like money. They know Harley mains are going to riot if she doesn't get to wear any of her iconic outfits. And they already got one of her iconic outfits in the game. So I know they're going to put the rest of them in there. It's only a matter of time. They're not going to be too picky. Ivy is an adult. No. They showed this a bunch of times already, but Ivy comes back. She used her ability from which they teased in the original in Arkham Knight to resurrect herself. And instead of resurrecting as an adult, she resurrected as a child. Lex Luthor essentially found her plant, took her to Metropolis, and has been raising her as a weapon to fight back against Brainiac. That's the narrative of Ivy. How you going to make you a milkman? Hope we get to play as Justice League characters like they did with in Venom. That would be dope. I heard something like that might be possible. I didn't double check with Miller, but I did hear that thrown around. So I don't know if it's a thing, but it would be awesome if it was. I have to confirm with Miller though. Maybe I'll let that be a surprise for myself. I don't know. Maybe because I'm thinking. Actually, I think it is pretty possible because maybe not as the Justice League. Like they wouldn't let you. Because I'm thinking story wise, it wouldn't make sense for you to play as a member of the Justice League while they're brainwashed. But it would make sense to let you play as Wonder Woman for a little bit. Because Wonder Woman, if you think about it, she's helping you. She's not on the Suicide Squad, but she is assisting them. And she's the only member of the league that's not brainwashed. So it actually would make sense and be really dope if there was like one mission where you got to take control as a Wonder Woman for a little bit. Maybe in the Superman fight, or like an infiltration mission when you're trying to take on Brainiac in his ship or something like that. It would actually make sense to make that like a playable Wonder Woman section, which would be insane. Like I would love that. They ought to have Cyborg or Aquaman for sure. Is it true that DLC characters had something universe elements? I don't know what that means. Wonder Woman vs Superman about to be a crazy fight. Facts. Wonder why is it brainwashed? I'm guessing no one was able to beat her yet. Wonder Woman is like a beast. I think, and the only reason that Flash got brainwashed is because he got his ass beat. He got injured in his fight against Green Lantern, and then he fought Batman in order to help the Suicide Squad, and Batman beat the hell out of him. Batman beat him like he stole something. and that's how Barry ended up getting brainwashed. So I'm guessing no one who ran the fate with Wonder Woman was able to win yet. So she was able to keep away. Fought Batman, quotation mark. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't much of a fight. Batman washed him. Barry got absolutely washed. That was you're right. That wasn't a fight. It was a demonstration of why Batman is him. It was bad, bro. Bat gave Barry a 30 piece. I was like, bro. Yeah, I'm guessing Wonder Woman was able to just kind of avoid it because the Flash wasn't initially brainwashed. You see him at the beginning. He's the one that initially saves you from Green Lantern. So I'm guessing Wonder Woman was just able to avoid getting captured because there's like a whole process where they have to transform you, and it looks like it requires you to actually be captured. So none of them were able to capture Diana yet because she is just that nice. Riddler is here simply as Brainiac's punishment with knowledge-based game systems. Batman stalking you was crazy. Oh, facts, bro. It's going to be fun seeing all the places where Batman is stalking you in the city. Crazy that Batman got brainwashed. It is. Like, I thought, because in a lot of stories, brainwashing stories, Batman is usually the first one that, like, gets out of it because he's got, like, protocols in place in the event that, you know, he gets brainwashed. And it obviously wouldn't surprise me if well, I guess we'll see how it plays out, but I think eventually they're going to be able to wake Batman up and get him back on their side. Wonder Woman can't be mind controlled because of her lasso. It protects her. Is that the ability? It gives her protection. Well, I don't if they don't explain that in the game. So I don't know what this version of Wonder Woman has. But it can but because as the last show of truth, it can temporarily break through the brainwashing. That's what happens when she captures Barry and interrogates him in the trailer. He temporarily becomes himself. But I'm pretty sure she just wasn't captured. Because she is the only one that we've seen that's running around freely. Everyone, like, Green Lantern mentions because he was surprised that Barry hadn't been converted yet, and then they reveal that Barry escaped the ship. So at some point, it looks like what happened was the Justice League went and invaded Brainiac's ship to try to stop it, but they were unable to stop Brainiac, and several of them got brainwashed, but Wonder Woman was able to avoid it, and Barry was able to escape the ship. And that's when he confronted Green Lantern, when he captured the Suicide Squad, and then eventually he gets captured by Batman. So we're really about to fall over. Not on my watch. I got her back up. Yale went up to the ship to make sure the invaders weren't a threat. Oh, I'm pretty sure Brainiac made it clear they were a threat. Brainiac was not ambiguous about that one. Brainiac made that abundantly clear. Wonder Woman is a demigod. It can stand against Superman, so it's not a surprise that she wouldn't be captured. Oh, for sure. People, and that's a funny thing. People like that don't, like, I've seen like people hating on Wonder Woman. Like, you can tell these are people that just hate women. Like, there are people who are saying, "Oh, nobody wants a Wonder Woman game. Or Wonder Woman sucks. You know, why she have a game? She's weak." And this is not the case. Like, Wonder Woman is like a beast. like what? Look at that comic. Like, Batman has contingencies for everybody, and Wonder Woman is the one person in the Justice League that he doesn't really have an actual answer for. like in one particular run, when Batman is explaining to Superman all of his contingency plans just in case the Justice League goes rogue. His Batman explains that his only plan to stop Diana in case she ever gets out of control or becomes brainwashed is Superman. Like there's literally nothing in there in that section. And he just tells Clark, like, if she ever goes rogue, you're my only option. Like, otherwise we're screwed, bro. like in the adaptation, his plan, Batman's contingency that was modified, basically had Wonder Woman get tricked with an illusion that was from a drug into fighting like an invisible enemy until she gets exhausted, because she has like no real direct weakness. Like nobody wants those problems against Wonder Woman. It's not like kryptonite with Superman or anything. Like Wonder Woman really just is built different. like she will run that fade with 81 in JL and come out on top. And only Superman realistically can like actually beat her like in a fade. Soup's become an OP dude that blew up his own world beyond his plans. What is the Batman mission like? It's like a survival horror mission where you're being hunted. You're walking through the Arkham Museum. After you confront Batman, he shuts off all the lights and he activates an EMP that disables all of your tech. So the only thing you have are your guns. Your traversal doesn't work. You're just walking around. You have nothing advanced other than your guns. And he's got traps from the games, like his explosive gel. He's got traps like that set up all around, and you're just kind of walking around, looking around in the dark. You got your flashlight, but it's so dark, and you're just trying to spot him. You're looking around, and sometimes you'll see him like zip across the rafters, and you're just looking, trying to see if he's going to pop out somewhere. And then all of a sudden you just hear him like grab one of your teammates. You're just like, what the? You're just pointing. You're just looking around, pointing like, bro, where is he? Where is he? And then next thing you know, you get pulled up by a grappling hook and punched in the face. You're just done. It's actually just insane. They did that mission so well. I was legitimately shook. You saw a clip of Harley slapping Deadshot's butt. Yeah, they showed, that was one of the cutscenes they showed from the preview event. Yeah, Lex Luthor sets a trap, and every time you touch one of the Suicide Squad, touch each other, they get trapped in it. Harley's the last one, and instead of just not falling into it, she is apparently so excited about the prospect of touching Deadshot's butt that she does it just so she could get trapped. which by the way is an insane scene. that would never be done the other way around. if they reversed that and had Boomerang be the last member that wasn't captured, and Harley's butt was the one he grabbed, bro, there would be petitions in the streets. There would be outraged. Like that'd have been crazy, but it would have been hilarious. But I fully know that double standard would exist. Like with Harley, it's funny, but if it's the other way around, it's a crime. Harley's having a hard time. First, people accuse her of being an Epstein because of because of the whole Poison Ivy kid scene. Now she's grabbing people's butts without their consent. Like Harley is a menace in this game. Harley is an actual menace. You've seen footage from some very reputable content creators. Yeah, there's footage from everybody. Everybody that went to the preview event had footage. They had content creators and games journalists fly out to a special event that happened over the course of multiple days. They got to play the game for 5 hours in groups of 4, and they got to capture their own footage except for the Flash boss fight. They were allowed to play it. They were the first ones to, they were the only ones who outside the devs who played it, but they weren't allowed to capture footage of that. WB sent them home with some footage that they captured themselves from various points of the game and from that particular Flash boss fight, so that the people who went to the event, they were able to share a combination of their own footage that they captured and footage that was captured on their behalf by Rocksteady. Was the game good? The game was very good. I played about 20 hours in the closed alpha. I mostly grinded Captain Boomerang's skill tree. He was my favorite character by far. Second for me was probably Deadshot, then King Shark, then Harley. My problem with Harley was that I thought she was like the weakest character. Like her traversal took the most getting used to, and it's not as fun when you're traveling long distances. Like her traversal was really good in short bursts when you're using it to get good position on enemies and you can like move around really quickly. But when you're traveling to a long distance location, hers to me was the least favorite. Like Boomerang's, I love his traversal. You got the super speed, you got the basic teleportation pretty much by throwing the boomerang, going into super speed force. Deadshot's jetpack is pretty fun. King Shark's probably the most fun in terms of just moving long distances because he's basically like the Hawk, or how the Hawk should be. I think he's the fastest as well because he could just take off and super jump like across the city. And it's really fun. Harley's to me was the least fun. Also, I didn't like how she was the only one who had a suicide attack that doesn't affect tanks. Like the strongest enemy that we fought is like the tanks, and the Suicide Squad attack is like basically a special. It's their traversal attack. Boomerang's is the one where he's using after images, hitting you from different angles. King Shark's is the one where he cannonballs, smashes into the ground. But Harley's doesn't work on tanks, so it made fighting tanks a lot harder when I was trying to control her. So by default, she was like the weakest one because, you know, it was still relatively early in the game. You didn't have all the crazy perks and stuff like that yet. But even without it, Harley had the hardest time. So to me, I just had the most fun with Boomerang. But he's just insane. I think Boomerang is going to be the best character in the game. He's just so broken. King Shark has potential. My main problem with King Shark is that I really wanted him to be a melee character, because you'll have moments with King Shark when you do melee and you're in the mix, you're doing the ground smash, you're harvesting enemies with your melee weapons, and you just want to keep going, and then you realize like you can't combo and do anything else. You just gotta go back to the gun or the traversal attack or something. And it really just made me wish he was like pure melee to a degree. Like you had that option where you had more moves you can pull off, because he can wreck so much, but you're like, when I'm playing as him, it just felt like I naturally wanted to keep meleeing. That was like my natural instinct because of how he played, but you gotta just, keep moving, jumping, smashing. So for me, I just had the most fun with Boomerang's playstyle. What's up, Paula? Appreciate you. Why you say fall for Stellar Blade? Because Stellar Blade does not have a release date. It was delayed from last year. It still has not gotten a release date, even though it was mentioned alongside several other upcoming PlayStation games. Helldivers 2 was delayed last year as well. It was supposed to come out with Stellar Blade, and that got a February 8th release date. Rise of the Ronin has a March release date, but Stellar Blade doesn't have one yet. We know Black Myth Wukong is summer, but they didn't say anything for Stellar Blade yet. So I feel like most likely Stellar Blade is going to be fall. Could be summer, but it's definitely not in the first several months, because otherwise I feel like they would have said something by now. Speak Spanish? Definitely not. Fate Walker, what up? Appreciate you. Looking forward to playing with you as well. It was very fun playing Avengers with Fate Walker. Looking forward to carrying it over. Do I know when the Wonder Woman game is? They have not updated the Wonder Woman game in 2 years. We're still waiting for another follow-up announcement about that Wonder Woman game. Did I get the deluxe edition? I have not ordered it yet. I'm pretty sure I just got an email from somebody saying they represent WB, so I might be getting gifted Suicide Squad. We'll see. You'll know when the review embargo lifts. If the review embargo lifts and I'm uploading Suicide Squad content before it goes live with early access on the 30th, you'll know. The alphas what sold you on the game. Same. You have a question? Go ahead, Paula. Ask away. Add me on Discord. Join the Discord. ! Discord. It's also the pinned comment in the chat. You play as Harley? I play with everybody, and I liked her the least. Her crowd control is really fun. Her traversal takes the most getting used to. And her special attack doesn't work on tanks, so it made that encounter more difficult, but I'm sure people are going to have fun with her, especially with some of the gear perks that you can put on these characters. It's going to be good. Like Wukong and Stellar Blade, most hype. Facts. People on Twitter are saying we're getting a PlayStation State of Play soon. I'm a person that said we're getting a State of Play soon yesterday in my video. And Jeff Grubb was the one who dropped the initial info on his podcast. So shout out to Jeff Grubb once again. Always reliable when it comes. Him, Tom Henderson, Jason Schreier, and Miller are my go-to industry insiders. Anytime there are leaks or anything, they're the ones I rely on. And especially Jeff Grubb, he's always right. So I'm always checking out Jeff Grubb's podcast, seeing NET that he's got. And yeah, he just so happened to drop the info that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct. Supposed to be happening in February. And he said he thinks in the next few weeks, he said there's definitely a State of Play happening and that he expects it to happen in the next few weeks. I covered that in my video yesterday. I took 4 years of Spanish in middle and high school, and I didn't learn anything. I speak a few words of Japanese, mostly that I picked up from watching anime. My Spanish is terrible. Love the fact we see a leak and we can cross-check with Miller, such an amazing contributor. Yeah, I absolutely love having Miller a part of this one. Now it really feels like we're getting the Avengers gang back together. It was great seeing all the Avengers creators express interest in Suicide Squad, but having Miller on board just makes it so much more fun. Love Miller. Yeah, IGN's review was insane. We did an Arkham Justice League game, including Arkham Batman. Yeah, when that scene that Caboose played, where and I saw it in the alpha, when you're in the mission with the Hall of Justice, where you're walking around and you can activate the different Justice League statues. The Batman one was pretty great, but when he had the whole Justice League assemble, I was like, oh man, that would be such a good game. The only problem with the alpha is you wanted more time. Facts, I really wanted more time. And my only actual problem with the alpha, and this was just the nature of the alpha, is that multiplayer, like matchmaking, was kind of a pain. Like matchmaking was fine, but when I wanted to manually join with people, it was a problem because everyone's names were censored because it's supposed to be like a confidential test. So I'll be trying to add people, but their names will be blocked out. So I didn't know who I was adding. So it was like really inconvenient if you weren't just randomly matchmaking. But that's just the nature of the closed alpha. What's up, Brandon? What it do? Marvel or DC? I am both. But anime is superior. Actually, the answer to that should just be anime. I grew up a fan of both. I prefer DC a little bit more, but I like anime and manga more than both Marvel and DC by a lot. But I first was introduced to superheroes through the X-Men, and I was a big fan of, the Spider-Man animated series, the X-Men animated series. But then the Batman animated series happened, and that just took over my life. So I've been mostly a DC guy, but I love both DC and Marvel. Not so much the comics these days, but the characters I lean DC. but I prefer anime and manga. Naruto on top. Love Naruto, one of the OGs, but nah. For me, it's Jujutsu Kaisen, Mob Psycho 100, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia. Those are like my favorite. And One Punch Man. Those are like my favorite action shonens. You know, back in the day, it was Full Metal Alchemist, Hunter x Hunter, Cowboy Bebop, Trigon, Vampire Hunter D. You know, I'm kind of an OG with this anime stuff. In your opinion, can the Joker return? I mean, not in this game, but the Joker can always return. As we've seen in the comics, the Joker can always return. Anyone who's dead can always come back, especially in DC. You know, you can always throw somebody in a Lazarus pit. There's always some kind of god-like figure who can raise the dead. There's always a way. You know, there's alternate universes, time travel. There's always a way to bring someone back to life. That's never a problem in comics. Think they show a DLC character in next episode? I think it's very possible. Now, I know who I can't say who the DLC characters are, the ones that I know from that Miller told me about. But it wouldn't surprise me if they showed at least one, at least the first, because it would make sense to at least announce the first one or two, maybe. Like Marvel's Avengers announced like 3 DLC characters ahead of time. They announced they announced the big collaboration with Sony because they were doing Spider-Man, which was, you know, console exclusive. Hopefully no one ever makes that mistake again. And they announced Hawkeye, and they announced Kate Bishop. Of course, you know, everything got delayed, but but they at least announced 3 of their upcoming DLC characters. So I would expect Rocksteady to at least actually, yeah, they probably not one of them, because the way Miller described Miller said one of them might kind of be a spoiler. So I don't know how they'll handle that one. But there are definitely DLC characters they could announce that wouldn't like necessarily spoil the story. So I'd look out for that. Do I listen to Slipknot? Nah. I don't listen to a lot of metal. I listen to a little bit of everything. I never got into Slipknot, but I think I've listened to like System of a Down, Drowning Pool, you know, stuff like that. Just dabbled here and there. You know, I was more of a Linkin Park guy when I was younger. I'm not like, I wasn't like everybody else who was like hates everything metal. Like it just depends on the metal. Like I can appreciate a good metal song, but it like depends on it. I like more harmonic metal. Like, you know, when it comes to that. Like Disturbed, like I can listen to Disturbed all day. You know, you throw me some Disturbed, I can rock with that, you know. But you know, some of the stuff is like, you're like I could take Korn in limited doses. Not really a fan of Marilyn Manson, you know, and not just for personal reasons. but he does have a few bangers, I'm not gonna lie. I listen to Guns N' Roses. Never got into Guns N' Roses. I was more of a, in terms of like those kind of old bands, like I like Ozzy. You know, I like The Who. I'm a fan of The Who. I like Aerosmith. Not as big of a fan of the Beatles as a lot of other people were. I thought they were okay. Wasn't really my vibe. Yeah, so Manson. Yeah, Manson just doesn't do it. He doesn't really do it for me, but he does got a few bangers. I'll listen to. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when that song comes on, I'll definitely sing along. What do you say? I definitely go crazy in the car, or in my home office, just listening to Spotify on shuffle when that comes up. that always raises my energy. I be sitting at my desk headbanging. But, you know, small doses. Gotham District for one of the seasons. Allegedly. I can't be reading stuff that Miller's been putting out there. Allegedly. The Beautiful People. You like more Marilyn Manson covers than actual songs. That's actually fair. There are a lot of songs that, like, you hear the original and you almost always prefer like to hear someone else sing it. Like like The Sound of Silence is a great song, but I never listen to the original. Unless it's like for a meme. I almost always want to hear someone's cover of it. Same with the Tears for Fears. I would much rather hear covers of it. Some songs I just prefer the cover. I don't want to hear the original. I want to hear the cover. But some songs I don't want to hear anyone's cover. I just want to hear the original. It works like that. Like for Oasis, I don't want to hear anyone else sing Wonderwall or Champagne Supernova. Because a big part of the reason I like those songs is because of the way he delivers it. So because I'll try to listen to those covers and I'll just be like, it just don't hit the same. So I would just prefer. So for Oasis, I like the originals, but for a lot of other songs, I'll like listen to the covers from different artists. Like probably my favorite cover of all time is Frank Ocean's cover of the Coldplay song Strawberry Swings. Like the original Coldplay song is, you know, solid. It's a good song, but Frank Ocean just goes crazy, and it's not one of those covers where he like dramatically changes the instrumental and just makes it a completely different song. He keeps the instrumental, but he adds his own lyrics and his own obviously his own voice, and it just completely like changes the vibe in the song, and it's just so good. Now I can't listen to the original. I can only listen anytime that song comes on. I can't listen to it. I can only listen to Frank Ocean's version of Strawberry Swings. What's up, Mystical Homemaker? Wonder Woman, probably 2025. Yeah, that's a good bet. Disturbed, Indestructible. Disturbed Sound of Silence is an amazing cover. That song is unbelievable. I get chills every time I hear it. They did an unbelievable job on that cover. That song is on that Frank mixtape. I love. Yeah, Nostalgia Ultra. Banger. Nostalgia Ultra, yep. Banger mixtape. As soon as I heard Nostalgia Ultra, I knew Frank Ocean was going to be on. I was like, he's built different. Classic mixtape. Your order of standalone games: 4 Flash, 3 Lantern, 2 Superman, 1 Batman. Put Batman at the bottom. I don't want to. I love Batman. I'm tired of Batman games. I'm so serious. I'm tired of Batman games. Superman, yes, get us Superman, get Green Lantern, Flash. I actually pitched my idea for a Superman and a Flash game. If you haven't seen that on my channel, check those out. Have a whole series where I do that. Haven't done one for Green Lantern yet, but I do have an idea for one. I would want like a big action space RPG with like a lot of branching story stuff for Green Lantern, and the ability to create your own Green Lantern. Like my idea for my pitch for a Green Lantern game is like Baldur's Gate 3, but with like fun real-time combat. You know, like I want to customize my own Green Lantern from the ground up. I want to have a big branching story while I cover my galaxy and my sector. I want all that. I don't want to play another Batman game. I'm sorry. I need a break. Superman, Batman, don't want it. The only time I want to play as Batman is if it's in a Justice League game. Otherwise, Flash, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman. Hell, I'll take Aquaman at this point. I would love Constantine, Justice League Dark, Teen Titans. Any of those games would be great. I don't want another Batman game. I can't anymore, bro. Go listen to X. A few songs. Haven't gotten into them. Rest in Power. Did you read any of the Suicide Squad comic? Not yet. Recommend a New 52 run. I'll check that out. I'm always looking for some DC comics that aren't, bad. And I'll definitely check out the Suicide Squad prequel comic probably when that comes out. Who remembers the old PS2 Teen Titan game? Bro, they used to make so many superhero games, and a lot of them were bad because a lot of them were movie tie-ins, but there was some gems there. We need to come back to that. Definitely need the Flash though. Pretty much everyone's got at least one game. The Flash game got canceled, but Wonder Woman's getting a game. Superman has gotten a bunch of games before. Green Lantern's gotten games before. Teen Titans, X-Men. The Flash, come on. We need the Flash on console. Batman will always be the GOAT, especially Kevin Conroy. Facts for sure. I just need a break, bro. I just need a break. Like we got so much Batman related stuff. Like seriously, we got We got Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Lego Batman, Arkham Origins, Gotham Knights, now Suicide Squad. Everything, even if it's not Batman, it's Batman adjacent. Like, we need a break. DC, you have so many characters. Use one of them, please. Actually, it's not Flash in the Lego game. You know that'll count. Everybody's in a Lego game. And it's supposed to make it. Yeah, I heard they're making another Lego Batman game, which, fine, whatever. But please, somebody else, give somebody else in DC another game, please. I'm begging you, WB. I am begging you. People want other DC characters. I think this is proof. As much as the haters say nobody wanted a Suicide Squad game, it's still the top pre-ordered game. It's still #1 in pre-orders. It just shows people are looking for something else. Like, Suicide Squad weren't on that many radars, but people do want other superheroes. They want other, especially in DC. Games built around other DC characters would be great. Not the Bat family, not not Batman villains, like other DC characters. You understand, if there was a Justice League game, you wouldn't like it if Batman was in it. Of course, if they did a Justice League game, Batman would be in it. But that wouldn't be an issue because everybody else would be in it. Like, it would be a Justice League game. No one would have a problem with that. Even if Batman is in it, you're still playing as the Justice League. So if you're someone who doesn't want to play as Batman, then you can play as Superman, or a Martian Manhunter, or Wonder Woman, or the Flash, or Cyborg, or Shazam, or whoever they have on their roster. And that would be a great compromise. That's why I was surprised they went with a Suicide Squad game instead of a Justice League one, because a Justice League one would have just printed money. I'm telling you right now. They would have been hyped for that one. The hype for that would have been insane. Like, you would have people whining about live service or whatever, but most people would have just, especially if the combat looked good, most people would just ignore it. Just be like, bro, nah, we're getting a Justice League game, an open world Justice League game. Like, bro, we would be going crazy. Harley Quinn game, I don't know about that. Imagine Marvel's Avengers scared them off that one. That's the thing. They couldn't have been scared off by Marvel's Avengers because they made Suicide Squad, which is basically Marvel's Avengers if it was done properly, but as a third-person shooter. like it's just a riskier. This is actually a riskier than a Justice League game. Like, if they went with Justice League, at least they would have the benefit of the doubt. You know, there would be people afraid of Avengers, you know, once they found out it was live service, but they would mostly get the benefit of the doubt, especially if the gameplay looked good. But because they just went with the Suicide Squad game and made it a third-person shooter, then it made more people skeptical. If they went with a Justice League game, that would just been a slam dunk. Like, people would just give them the benefit of the doubt. How about a Bruce Wayne game? A game where you're literally just a billionaire going to parties, risen up women. A Harley game would be dope. It could be. It would be dope if it was like as wacky as the Harley Quinn show. But again, Batman related. Nothing Batman related, please. Justice League with the soldiers off the name. That's what I'm saying. Like, just off the name, people would just be like, "Oh, it's a Justice League game." I don't care. I don't care what y'all talking about. Battle Pass, sign me up. I'll buy everything on that Battle Pass. What's up? It's a Justice League game. Well, bring it on. Whole thing was probably to make fans happy because of the Suicide hype from Origins. I know specifically there was a push from within DC to try to make the Suicide Squad a thing. Yeah, because they set it up. They set it up in Origins. They obviously had plans for a movie. Ended up being several movies. So they thought that they could make the Suicide Squad a thing. I think that with the idea, I'm pretty sure it was like, oh, the Guardians of the Galaxy was a big hit for Marvel. Let's try to do that for kind of our version of potentially a Guardians, which could be like Suicide Squad. So I think that was the thing in there. They were hoping they could hit that magic like James Gunn did with Guardians. And that's why there was like a big internal push at DC to make Suicide Squad work. And Rocksteady ended up being the ones to take on the game. That's my theory, at least. Suicide Squad is a one big battle pass or a pass for each character. You mean like I guess you're thinking of it in, are you thinking of it in terms of like the Marvel's Avengers system where it was just an individual pass for each character? We haven't seen it yet. And the information that I do have about the battle pass, I'm not allowed to tell you about. But there is episode 3 of Suicide Squad Insider coming up. That's going to be focusing on the post-launch content. And I imagine they're going to talk about the battle pass in there. So I would stay tuned for that episode. Co-op Justice League game where you're Superman. Need one of your boys playing another member to assist you. From what it sounds like on the FAQ, it's probably just like a regular battle pass. Not like a hero card system. But they'll go into more detail. Was Avengers as bad as everyone says it was? No. Almost no game is as bad as everyone says it is. Like some games look objectively bad, like Gollum. You know, that's a terrible game. But a lot of this games like Avengers, and even with Anthem, like you're hearing people admitting now that, you know, years later, and they're not being influenced by social media cancel mobs, that it actually was a lot of fun. Avengers, most of the people who will swear to you that Avengers was the worst game ever didn't actually play the game. You know, there were people who just didn't play it at all. There were people who like tried out the game for like a little bit and they didn't understand the level up or gear system, and because they weren't immediately one-shotting everything with Hulk, they just dismissed the game as terrible and just never looked back. But if you actually put the time in and gave the game a chance, it's actually a really good game. The reason why it failed is because of like some fundamental problems, like the gear system, the initial gear. By the time the last patch rolled out, it's a really fun game. The issue was that the game had a lot of limitations because it was built in the wrong engine. The multiplayer, which made the multiplayer really buggy. They weren't able to consistently put out content. But the actual game itself, the gameplay, was extremely fun. And you know, especially once you level up your characters, understood how to play, like no other game on the market still will give you the experience of flying around as Thor and just obliterating a bunch of enemies. And then being able to go from that to the Hulk and just thunderclapping an entire room into dust, you know. But because they had a lot of engine limitations and of course the timing of the game releasing coincided with the start of the pandemic, so it had a lot of things working against it. But if it had been built in Unreal Engine, if it had gotten more time to cook, if the studio chosen was familiar with live service games, we'd still be playing Avengers. I just could have judged games. I'm convinced that reviewer didn't even finish. I'm not even sure that reviewer even finished that Flash boss fight. I'm pretty convinced that he didn't even finish it. Do you really think the state of play rumor is true? I don't consider it a rumor. It's from Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb doesn't do like, oh, it might be, maybe. No, Jeff Grubb said definitively a state of play is happening. If Jeff Grubb says something is happening, it's happening. That's confirmed. It's not about, oh, should I believe this? No, it's you're getting a statement of fact. Jeff Grubb said it. It's a fact. We're definitely getting a state of play. Jeff Grubb is literally never wrong. I covered all of it in my video yesterday, but basically Jeff Grubb confirmed that we're getting, in addition to the Xbox Direct, there's a state of play, and there's going to be a Nintendo Direct. He thinks the PlayStation State of Play is going to happen in the next few weeks. He doesn't have an exact date, but he said it's definitely happened. And like I said in my video yesterday, realistically, you should expect the State of Play to showcase some upcoming PlayStation projects, like Rise of the Ronin, which comes out in March. They're probably going to want to showcase that. Helldivers 2, that comes out February 8th, so they're going to want to promote that. Stellar Blade, a lot of hype for that. We haven't heard anything in a little bit. They just started marketing that again, so we should get some more Stellar Blade. Silent Hill is about to pick up. That might make an appearance. Ghost of Tsushima is supposed to have a PC port, hasn't been announced yet. Spider-Man 2 has a New Game Plus update coming up they have to promote, and Spider-Man 2 also has DLC that they haven't officially announced yet. So there's a lot of stuff that they could potentially cover in that State of Play. But we're at this point, but Jeff Grubb confirmed it, so at this point we're just waiting for PlayStation to make the official announcement. And they don't tell you everything that's going to be in the State of Play ahead of time, but they'll probably give you like a little bit of an idea. But what I just said is probably what you're going to see. What characters do you think are for sure getting DLC? Most wanted for what game? That DBC game looks nice. Oh, Sparking. Yeah. Oh yeah, that looked fun. Dr. Fate. Hell no, his ego is knowing to be around, but that would be a fun fight. Oh yeah, for sure. Have I heard the song Ram Ranch? Definitely not. Hello for France. Shout out to France. What's up, Captain Spidey? For Suicide Squad. I know who the DLC characters are, but in terms of most wanted, I've heard on social media, I've seen people mostly requesting Killer Frost and Deathstroke. And of course, I've seen people requesting Reverse Flash, Bizarro as well. Bizarro is my favorite potential character. He's top of my list. Peacemaker as well, of course. Red Hood. Definitely see a lot of people requesting Red Hood. Yeah, I'd say by popularity of most requested, it's probably something like Deathstroke, Red Hood, Peacemaker, Killer Frost, in that order. Those are, because those are like, and also, and there's, you'll see some other requests like Black Manta. I've seen some Black Manta requests. I've seen people request other different villains like Lex Luthor. The people that want to see Lex Luthor playable. I can't say anything about the DLC, about how many DLC, what DLC characters there are, how many DLC characters. I cannot go into any of that. I can say that they have about a year of content ready to go. But I can't go into detail about the DLC characters. We got to get at least one crazy character like Slipknot. Bane seems good. Yeah, if you wanna learn more about DLC, check out Miller's Twitter. He's sharing a lot of fun stuff over there. Livewire, yeah, Solomon Grundy, those would be really cool. If you can't say DLC, that means it's in the works. So awesome info anyway. Oh, sure, take that. I mean, that's not really a thing. That's a surprise. It's on their website. It's not something that it's not a scoop. Rocksteady put it on their Suicide Squad website that post launch they're going to be releasing new playable characters for free. So I'm not breaking any news there. They already told us that. The new story, they said new story missions, new playable characters, new weapons, new events. That's all on their website. I just can't tell you who they are. We're stronger than we are alone. Arkham Batman simulation. Hell yeah. Talon would be sick. Plus he's in the new Suicide Squad comics with Peacemaker. Hell yeah. Yeah, Peacemaker is. I would be surprised if they didn't do Peacemaker. There's especially when Peacemaker's new season comes out. There's going to be a lot. If Suicide Squad is popping off, you're going to see a lot of people requesting Peacemaker. Samoa Joe, the wrestler, is King Shark. Yep, Samoa Joe is the wrestler. The wrestler, he is voicing King Shark. He was actually at the studio. Jay Shockless said that he was in town for like an event, and he used that as an excuse to go to Rocksteady, where they were having the Suicide Squad event, and he just came and hung out and was playing the game. Apparently, he was like really excited to play it, which is pretty cool. What's up, Nava? Mr. Poole. It's crazy how popular Peacemaker has gotten. Who would have thought? Yeah, I mean that's the magic of James Gunn. He can take an obscure character and make you care about him. Like Peacemaker was like probably a D-list villain at best. He was like no one cared about Peacemaker. But you put James Gunn on it, and now he's in Mortal Kombat. People are just like, Peacemaker, where's Peacemaker? I want Peacemaker. Is wild. What'd you miss? We're chatting. Just chatting now that the NDA is lifted. Get that the guns are the main part of this game, but you hope we get more unique characters, not just guns. It's going to be guns. That's the name of the game. Everyone gets a gun and a melee weapon. But there are ways that could make it fun. Peacemaker and Eagly are spray painted on an alley in Metropolis. You never heard of him, but now you like him. You want to play it. I feel like John Cena has a massive part in Peacemaker 6. Oh, 100%. because that's not at all like what he's like in the comics. Like people who are loving Peacemaker, they love the John Cena interpretation of Peacemaker. He's a completely different character in the comics. Metallo being unlocked after you beat the game would be hilarious. You could one-shot Superman. Could Poison Ivy be playable? I highly doubt it. Especially since they made her a vendor. Like that seems to be the extent of their Poison Ivy plans. Just making her a vendor. She would have been fun as a potential DLC character, but it looks like she's just going to be a vendor. Who voices Harley? Tara Strong is back and voicing Harley. First DLC would be Goku coming to challenge Superman to a fight. That would be hilarious. We just had that third death battle fight between Goku and Superman. that debate will never end. Samoa Joe's a badass. Hell yeah. He does a great job as King Shark. Prometheus was teased so much. He could be added. It's interesting the characters they chose. I will say that's all. I'll say it. I'll say that, yeah. The characters they chose, some of the characters they chose are very interesting. It shows that, you know, Rocksteady really does be cooking. What will I do if they come up with another Batman game? I will be very annoyed. I know WB Games Montreal hasn't announced their DC game yet that they're working on, but I hope it's not another Batman game. Please no. Please no. Superman, somebody else. Do not give us another Batman game. I can't take it. Rocksteady giving low tiers a chance to shine. I'm here for it. Hell yeah. You'll be annoyed, excited. Same. I'll be like, I'm going to play it, obviously, but I'm not going to be happy about it. DC Universe Online sequel. I'll be excited about that. Since it doesn't look like they're actually going to ever update it. Might as well do a sequel. So it'll be a long 3 weeks. I'm sure it'll fly by. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all hanging out for this impromptu stream. We got the after show podcast tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss that. ! Podcast. Subscribe over on the after show podcast. We got Jay Shockblast, Mr. Moneybags himself, who was personally flown out to play Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League early, meet with the devs and everything like that. He's going to be able to talk as much as he wants about most of the stuff. It's going to be fun. We might have some other special guests. So definitely subscribe over on the After Show podcast and support that second channel. I'm Sadot the Gamer, signing out. Peace.